Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Agent Psycho, and today I'm bringing you guys a video on the review of the Lee Enfield. This is a forgeable variant, actually, of the M24 family in combat arms, and you can actually forge the Lee Enfield from the M24 using, I believe, let's see how many things it takes. I believe it takes replica pallets. It's been a long time since I've last forged yeah, it does take 7 replica pallets, and you need a M24 as well to forge the Lee Enfield. So, in combat arms, the Lee Enfield is a bolt-action sniper rifle, technically speaking, but you need to treat it more as a semi-automatic, semi-automatic sniper rifle because you'll see why if you keep watching the review. So, a little bit of in real life info about the Lee Enfield. The Lee Enfield is a British rifle. It was first introduced, or it wasn't first introduced, but rather the British Army first officially adopted it as its standard issue infantry rifle in 1895, and it was replaced by the L1A1 SLR rifle in 1957. So it's been in service in the British Empire for 60 years, give or take a couple years, and that's a pretty long time. And interestingly enough, because it was a standard issue rifle, and if you guys know your history, the British Empire, had lots of colonies outside, just not just in Europe, but actually they have a lot of colonies in Europe. I don't know, but in the British Commonwealth and the British Empire, obviously they had colonies in India, Canada, Australia, whatever. So, interestingly enough, if you go to India, you can actually find some police units still using the Lee Enfield as their standard issue rifle, which is very interesting because that means that the Lee Enfield rifle has a very, very long service history. And interestingly enough, as well, Canada, apparently the Canadian unit, the Canadian Forces Rangers Arctic Reserve Unit, apparently still use a variant of the Lee Enfield rifle. So, yeah, obviously it's pretty reliable if it's being used to this day. It fires the 303 cartridge or the 303 inch caliber rifle. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I think the Mosin Nagant also uses the same cartridge. I could be wrong, but I have a feeling it does. But in any case, that's what the Lee Enfield is in real life, and yeah, it apparently there have been 7 million Lee Enfield rifles that have been produced over its service history, and it's just apparently it's a really reliable rifle. And yeah, it's a bolt action magazine fed repeating rifle, and that was the main firearm or main standard issue infantry rifle of the British Empire. In-game in combat arms, the Lee Enfield costs. Its cost is, technically speaking, the M24, which is 1100 GP for a day, and the 7 replica pallets. Obviously, if you guys don't know how to obtain the replica pallets, what you need to do is go to the Wheel of Fate and put in some silver coins and obtain about 35, I think it is, replica pallets, because I think the exchange rate is 5 for five replicas for one replica pallet. So once you get those 35, you convert them all to replica pallets, and you go to the Gun Emporium, and that's where you can get the M24. Other than that, though, that's basically covered its cost, and on top of which, because it's derived from the M24 rifle, technically speaking, it doesn't have a rank requirement, because the M24, which is the base gun that you make that you forge the Lee Enfield from, doesn't have a rank requirement either. So you can technically get the Lee Enfield right off the bat as soon as you make a new account, if that's what you're interested in. In any case, let's move on to the statistics of the Lee Enfield. The Lee Enfield deals a damage of 91, so it's kind of like the M24, in which it doesn't really get you a one-shot kill at all, unless you obviously shoot people from the back. With a damage of 91, obviously it's only 1 point stronger than the M24, which is a far cry from ever being able to deal one-shot kill to anyone if they're at full HP, so that kind of sucks. The portability on the Lee Enfield is pretty good for a sniper rifle at 41. Keep in mind, though, that the M24's portability is at 45, so the Lee Enfield is still kind of slower than the M24s. But if you were to compare that to the average of portabilities as far as in the broad sense of sniper rifles, then it's more decent portability for the Lee Enfield to have. The rate of fire is where the Lee Enfield really shines as a bolt action sniper rifle. It has a rate of fire of 23. Now, if you compare that to other sniper rifles such as the M24, which only has a 15 rate of fire, and even then I consider that pretty fast, and the L96A1, which only had a 10 rate of fire, this is pretty fast. I mean, the L96A1 obviously it's a bolt action sniper rifle, and if you were to try to fire as fast as you could, it doesn't fire that fast. But the Lee Enfield with the rate of fire statistic of 23, you're basically firing more than double the L96A1's rate of fire. And even though that's obviously not as fast as, say, a submachine gun or an assault rifle rate of fire, this is still pretty fast for a bolt-action sniper rifle. So if you are caught in the open and you don't have time to switch to your pistol, the Lee Enfield can actually, you have a really good chance of, defending yourself with the Lee Enfield just because of the fact that it has a really, really high rate of fire for a bolt-action sniper rifle. Accuracy of the Lee Enfield is very reminiscent of the M24 at 99, although it's not necessarily the perfect, although it necessarily doesn't have perfect accuracy, it does have 99 accuracy, and 1 point off perfect accuracy probably isn't going to do much. But if you're a big stickler on having perfect accuracy, then by all means don't use a Lee Enfield. But Lee Enfield is extremely accurate with an accuracy of 99. The recoil on the Lee Enfield, however, is something that you may want to take into consideration. It does have a recoil of 70. Now compare that to the recoil statistic on the M24 that had a 60 recoil. I mean, for the M24, it doesn't really matter because its rate of fire isn't going to affect your recoil at all. Because by the time both your center speed and your scope wobble or your view kick comes back to normal, you're already or by the time you load your next bullet, rather, your view kick and your center speed of the M24 should have already come back to normal by then. However, the Lee Enfield has 10 more points of recoil, which makes it really, really tough to if you are going to spam a lot, then you might as well just do that at close range, because if you're trying to, well, why would you do that at any other range anyway? Derp. But just keep in mind that if you're trying to spam bullets at people, then you might want to take in consideration your recoil, and you might want to control your recoil a little bit, because with a recoil of 70, it's gonna go all over the place. Is a bottom line. So be careful of that. As for its other non-statistical aspects, such as the draw speed and whatever, the Lee Enfield has, I believe it does have a pretty, or actually a very fast draw speed. I'm doing this commentary a long time after I've actually gotten to get actual gameplay for it, so I don't quite remember how its draw speed works. But if my memory serves me correctly, the Lee Enfield has a wickedly fast draw speed. So if I'm incorrect on that, then please forgive me. But in my mind anyway, the Lee Enfield does have a really, really fast draw speed. So if you really want to go around no-scoping people, then the Lee Enfield might actually be a good choice for that, seeing that its draw speed really fast. The ammunition count on the Lee Enfield is at 10 rounds per magazine and 20 rounds in reserve. This matches the real life Lee Enfield, where the Lee Enfield in real life also had 10 rounds per magazine, I believe. And yeah, you basically have the same ammunition count as the M24A3 Woodland. Think of it that way. As for modification restrictions, or what you can put on your Lee Enfield rifle, unfortunately, you cannot put a silencer on the Lee Enfield, and obviously the Lee Enfield comes with its own its own sniper rifle scope, and so that means that the only modification that you can make on your Lee Enfield is its magazine size, and I mean, its reload speed is also very, very quick, so whether or not you want to put an extended mag or a fast loader mag on it, it just doesn't feel, the Lee Enfield doesn't really feel like it has any need for a magazine modification. You already have 10 bullets. There's no real point in you getting 14 bullets per magazine, because it's only a 40% increase. The extended magazine 2 makes sense for M24 because it boosts your bullet count all the way up to 11, and having any bullet number above or around 10 is what you want to have for a sniper rifle, or that's what's most comfortable for me. So the fact that the Lee Enfield already comes with 10 bullets per magazine kinda negates the need for a magazine modification. If you want to go around with a fast loader magazine just for shits and giggles, then that's fine, because you still have 6 bullets per magazine. Or is it 6 bullets? Or I think it goes down to 8 bullets, I believe. Yeah, I think so. Which isn't bad at all. And if you want a faster reload speed, then by all means. But the Lee Enfield already has a really fast reload speed anyway, so I don't really know if magazine modifications are really, you know, necessary at all. Alright, welcome back to the testing parts of this review. And right here in my hands, we've got the Lee Enfield, and we're about to see the approximate hipfire spread of the Lee Enfield and whatnot. So, here we go. So, you guys get a good idea of its close range no scoping, or hipfire spread, I suppose. And now moving on to the other part, a more longer range, I guess. Hipfire test, and here we go. So you guys can probably see that the hipfire spread for the Lee Enfield is very, very wild. It may be due to the fact that the Lee Enfield has a very random hipfire spread because of its heightened rate of fire, but for all intents and purposes, just don't no-scope at this range. It's probably not a very good idea. And now, finally, since my original Lee Enfield was basically out of ammo, we're going to test the scope bin time and the scope style of the Lee Enfield, though by now you've probably already seen it enough. So I'd say, actually, if we were to compare this to the original M24, the M24's scope in time is actually a little bit faster. Not to say that the Lee Enfield's scope in time is slow by any means. It's still certainly faster than the L96A1's scope in time. But the M24 scope in time, I honestly feel, is a little bit faster than the Lee Enfield's. And if we check out the idle sway, while we're checking out the idle sway, which is very, very minimal, just like the M24, the Lee Enfield shares the same scope as the S58 musket and the E57 musket, and some other sniper rifles as well. I believe the KNT 308 and the GNG 90 also share this kind of scope, where it's a very thin crosshair with a very small red dot in the middle. So it's very good for precision sniping. Some people really like this kind of style of scope. Other people might not, you know, like it as much because they're too used to 6 scope. Whatever, this is what the Lee Enfield style scope looks like. And obviously the idle sway is very, very low. So this is going to be the damage testing for the Lee Enfield. The Lee Enfield, if I haven't mentioned this already, is the forgeable variant of the M24. And right now we will be testing the damage on the M24, or sorry, the Lee Enfield, because the Lee Enfield technically has one more point of damage over the M24. And as usual, as goes with most of my damage testings, this time we have the Zyphra. Didn't butcher your name. To the left here, he has got the light vest on, and to our right, we've got I want to be Asian. Not really too sure if that's supposed to mean anything, but he's got the medium vest on. So we're going to first test the medium vest, one shot to the chest to see how much damage he takes, and then we're going to be switching over to a Zyphra to see how much damage a light vester takes from a Lee Enfield. Alright, so one shot to the chest goes down to 18 damage, or 18 HP, sorry. So that's for a medium vester. So what if we do the same for the light vest? We will be finding out right now. All the way down to 6 HP. So damage profiles are pretty similar to original M24. Still isn't one shot, which is the big thing. So if you can't one shot, then no one really cares, right? Anyways, that's the damage testing for the Lee Enfield. What I'm gonna do now is gonna go ahead and do this. And we're going to have it come back, and we're going to be testing out the I'm not really too sure if it's a rumor, but if you guys didn't watch my M24 reviews, the M24 is able to one-shot people to the back. Seeing that the Lee Enfield is the forgeable variant, we're going to see if the Lee Enfield can one-shot people to the back as well, just like the M24 before it. So, I want both of you guys to turn around and face your backs to me so that I can shoot you guys in the back and see how much damage it does. You too, Zyphra. Alright, so now we've got that done. Once again, we've got Zyphra on the left, and Wannabe Asian on the right. I believe Wannabe Asian's got the medium vest, right? Alright, good. Okay, so, here we go again. Damage testing on the medium vest, one shot to the back. he goes down. What about the light vest? You probably already know what's going to happen. One shot. So the Lee Enfield does indeed one shot to the back of both medium and light vesters. And if you hit someone on the back who has the heavy vest, well, I don't really know what to say. Hopefully he goes down one shot. So once again, thank you guys for the damage testing, and moving on. As for any additional quirks that the Lee Enfield rifle may have, I honestly think that its main quirk is the fact that Nexon really designed the Lee Enfield to be... Well, this may not have been intentional, but the way that they've built the Lee Enfield in this game, in Combat Arms, is to be an extremely annoying close-quarter sniper rifle. It's basically, if you guys have ever used the M1866, if any of you actually recognize that gun at all, the Lee Enfield and the M1866 basically have the same role, in which they both have very fast rate of fires, they both have very fast draw speeds, and they both have really, really fast reload speeds. What does that amount to? The game's telling you to use it as a shotgun sniper. You go up to people and you fucking blast them in the face and fire as fast as you fucking can. That's basically how you need to use this rifle. Effectively, anyway. If you try to use it as a standard sniper rifle or as a like a battle rifle, you're not gonna, or I just feel like you're not gonna, do as well as you would if you were just go fuck it, whatever. We'll just go balls deep and just rush people and just blast them in the face. I honestly think that you really can do better if you were just to take the Lee Enfield and just run around the map and just go shove this rifle down people's throats and asses or up their asses, because that's how, as far as I'm concerned, that's what the stats point to. Your Lee Enfield cannot one-shot people at any range whatsoever, even at close range. So there's no real point to for you to stand back and kind of play kind of reserved like the M24 does. The only reason why I'm not telling you to do this with the M24 is the fact that it's a bolt-action sniper rifle and its rate of fire isn't that great. The Lee Enfield, however, on the other hand, has a rate of fire of 23. That means you can spam this thing as much as you can and give absolutely no fucks about it. And plus the fast reload speed also helps a lot. So yeah, the Lee Enfield is a shotgun sniper. You go around up to people's faces and just click, and hope that they die. That's basically what this Lee Enfield is supposed to be used as. I know that it's probably not meant to be used like that, but not only is it more effective, in my opinion, than just sitting back and using it as an actual sniper rifle, but also it's really fucking hilarious. Because of this quirk that I just mentioned, you don't really need to quickscope with the Lee Enfield. I mean, you can. It's got a good draw speed, but it's effectively, because you can just go around spamming bullets at people, that effectively removes the need or viability of quickscoping at all from the Lee Enfield. It's just there's no point to quickscoping with the Lee Enfield because you're not going to do as well as you would going to people and blast them in the face. So yeah, so much for quickscoping with the Lee Enfield. And finally, as for my own personal opinions, Lee Enfield is really more of a novelty gun, unfortunately. I mean, as much as I say, I like all guns and what Combat Arms, I have to, I obviously recognize the fact that there are guns out there that really don't serve any purpose, and the only reason why they're there is to have a good laugh every once in a while. How many people do you see running around with Lee Enfields, unless there's like an event that's specifically based on using Lee Enfield? Unless something like that happens, people aren't going to go out of their way to buy the M24 and forge it into the Lee Enfield, because it sucks. It honestly sucks. And even though I tell you to use it as a shotgun sniper, you're basically no-scoping the entire time. And for people like me who have absolutely no fucking luck with no-scoping at all, that's a really, really trashy strategy. Not only is it obnoxious to everyone around you or the entire enemy team that you're facing against, but you're gonna get annoyed and you're gonna get tired of it eventually. I mean, it might be fun and funny and all for a couple games, but eventually you'll get sick and tired of it and start wondering why you're not getting as much kills as you would be in a normal game, except on that moment when you realize you were using an Lee Enfield, which you shouldn't be because it sucks. So, unfortunately, I'm sorry if you really enjoy using the Lee Enfield, but it's just not a good sniper rifle. It's not good at what it's supposed to do as a sniper rifle. You know, it can't even one-shot people for God's sake. And also, I mean, even the M24 has perfect accuracy, and not even Lee Enfield has perfect accuracy. And I know I'm being nitpicky because it has 99 accuracy, 1 point less. But still, the M24, in my opinion, has more utility than the Lee Enfield because, me personally, I'm more comfortable with bolt-action sniper rifles for some reason. And even though the Lee Enfield is a bolt-action sniper rifle, my mind processes it as a semi-automatic because of its sheer rate of fire. So, I mean, yeah, if you want the Lee Enfield, you might as well use the M24 because there's not really much difference between the two, except for unless you really want to go around shotgunning people with the sniper rifle. Then you can use the Lee Enfield because that's what it's made for. As far as this game's concerned, maybe it wasn't Nexon's intention, but if that was really if the Nexon's intention was meant to make the Lee Enfield as a sniper rifle, they kind of failed hard at that. So there you go. So with a gun like the Lee Enfield, obviously you can have a variety of ways to play with the Lee Enfield because it's not like, you know, one-shot wonder sniper rifle. But there are a couple that I would like to recommend to you guys. One of which is a kind of like a medium range sniper, because the Lee Enfield, if you are to stay at medium range, that means that you're going to be kind of away from the main central engagements in your games in combat arms, but you're not uninvolved from there. You're not like the camper that sits back on oil rig crane and just sits up there for all fucking game long, you know. You're the one who's, you know, standing over in cafeteria. You're the one camping near that little bridge thing that leads up to the ladder, just right outside I think Bravo spawn. You're that kind of guy. You know, you get involved, but it's not like you can't be effective at, you know, if you go a little bit closer to the main battles. So you can be kind of that kind of sniper where you have the Lee Enfield, you post up in one position and you just stay there. You just cement yourself there, make yourself really annoying to deal with because people know that if you've got a Lee Enfield, then they know that even though they can tank a hit or two from the Lee Enfield, you can follow up that shot pretty quickly because the Lee Enfield obviously has a rate of fire of 23. So that means that any follow-up shot from the Lee Enfield is going to be very, very swift. And if they get lit up once, if they get hit only once by Lee Enfield, excuse me, then any of your teammates can just nick them with one shot from any gun and they'll be dead, you know, just like the M24. Just hit them once and then pull out your pistol and try to like, you know, pistol whip them from afar. That's an effective strategy to use. The other strategy to use, or the other place I use, is the one I already recommended. You know, go up to people, rush around as fast as you can, because the Lee Enfield, even though it's not as portable as the M24, it still has a decent portability. You know, 41 is not low at by any means, because the LNA6A1 has a 30 portability, so or 30, 35, 40. I think it has a 40 portability. So never mind, maybe the Lee Enfield isn't that portable, but if it's more portable than the LI6A1, then that means that if you have decent speed gear, then you can run around with it pretty effectively. That means that you can run around the map and try to just, you know, just blast people. You know, either play it as, like I recommended, you play with the M24, where you always try to go for flank routes, be sneaky, and once you're right up behind them, and when you're at a position where you can deal maximum damage, just click away. Just bam, 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 and kill as many people as you can. Because Lee Enfield, as you guys could tell by the damage test, it can one-shot to the back of, you know, light vesters, medium vesters, and all that kind of good stuff. So, if you play like you would with the M24, like I mentioned in the M24 review, then you can actually get a lot of one-shot no scopes if you do it properly. If you can somehow sneak up behind people. Even if you get caught, you don't have the disadvantage that you would with the M24, where, you know, with the M24, if you get caught by someone who's facing directly forward at you and, you know, is lighting you up, you basically have to headshot them, or you have to pray that they've already been lit in order for you to kill them, and even then you have to land your shot to begin with, and which is kind of distracting when you've got someone shooting at you. However, with the Lee Enfield, you don't need to worry about any of that, because you can just unscope and just blast them, bam, 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 and hope that you get him. If you don't get him, oh well. It's not like you had to try it in order to get that kill. And if you got him, great. You've got yourself a kill, and your enemy's pretty fucking mad. So you can play it like that. There's the conservative sniper rifle and a sniper playstyle, and you've got the douchey faggotry, you know, just I do not give a shit about your feelings. I am going to wreck your day. Lee Enfield playstyle. You can choose. You can mix and match of them. So it's really up to you. For the douchebag playstyle for the of the Lee Enfield, however, I would like to mention that if you're going to play this style, 30 bullets isn't going to last you a lot. So I recommend that you have a weak pistol, but that has a lot of ammo, like say the G23, the Luger, the Walther, those kinds of pistols that have a lot of ammunition, but they don't do a lot. Well, they can do a lot of damage. It doesn't really matter as long as you take a pistol that's comfortable with you. But preferably, I would rather you bring a spammable pistol that's weak, because if you hit someone with the Lee Enfield, they will go down to like below 10 HP every single time unless they got the heavy vest. So if you were to bring like a G23, then one shot from that will probably finish them off. Just saying, because if you do somehow manage to live for a long time with the shotgun sniper style play style, then you will find yourself running out of ammo very, very quickly, especially if you tend to generously give out bullets to everyone. So there you guys go. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching my Lee Enfield review. Once again, this is episode number 4 of chapter number 1 of my sniper rifle reviews of the ETA series. My name is Asian Psycho, and this has been the review on the Lee Enfield sniper rifle. So thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you guys in the next review featuring the E57 musket, which is the forgeable variant of the M24 family that you get from forging the M24A3. So see you guys then. Alright, once again, big thanks to I Wanna Be Asian and D-Cypher V2 for helping me out with this damage testing. And if you guys have any shoutouts to give, feel free to give them now. So yeah, thank you very much to once again Cypher V2 and I Wanna Be Asian for helping me out with the damage testing for the Lee Enfield. So there you go. I'll let them say a few words of shout out before leaving you guys with the rest of the video. That suspension hammer though, Nexon. Well, I suppose I Wanna Be Asian doesn't have any shout outs, I guess. So anyways, thank you guys very much for watching the review, and hope you guys have the good rest of the day. So yep, thanks for watching.